chosen ones, empaths. When you look around yourself and you see people in relationships, or you see people addicted to drugs or alcohol or any of the such. Now, I'm not casting no judgments here, but I'm trying to give you a bird's eye perspective on what's actually happening, right? A lot of people are in relationships because they're a slave to their sexual desires. That's all, like, first and foremost, that's the reason they're in this relationship. It's not love. It's not love for the other. It's not companionship. It's actually a slave to their sexual desires. And we can see this is predominant in hookup cultures today, with the way the hookup culture goes on. A lot of people are slaves to their sexual desires. They don't take heed and warning to the danger of soul ties or STDs, and it's down to them being a slave to their sexual desires. But this also can be done. I'm not an angel here. We've all got desires and stuff like that, but I'm trying to make you see it from another angle, right? For us to get ahead and for us to get forward, we need to strip ourselves bare, right? And understand that we do have inclination towards substances or alcohol, intoxicants or alcohol or sexual desires. And if we can understand that what's driving us behind that is not necessarily us, and it can be entities or devils, however you want to look at it, that is actually making you have these inclinations going towards these areas, and you can actually be alone without the need of alcohol. You can be without the need of drugs, without the need of sexual desires, and almost like a monk mode kind of thing. Now, I'm not saying you need to go on this journey for your whole life. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying at least go on that journey of stripping yourself of all of these desires, these lusts, these desires for drugs or alcohol. Try and go on a healthy detox. And, if you attract a normal loving relationship where it's love for the other, then partake in that. But don't just be with someone to sexually gratify yourself. That shouldn't be the number one aim of why you want to be in a relationship. That's where it all goes wrong. If we got in these relationships where we want to just sexually gratify ourselves, it's not really a loving relationship. It's not something built on a solid foundation, and it's not going to last, right? Same with these drugs and these alcohol and whatnot, right? If we just need these things to be normal, right? It becomes part of our everyday life. Like, I'll just use cigarettes for an example. Like, cigarettes becomes, okay, you have one after a meal, or you might have one before a meal, and then you have one when you walk to the bus stop, and then you have one when you go, and it becomes a big cycle of, like, just to do your everyday life, you need these cigarettes, right? But then this can also be on a higher scale, and it could be with drugs, or it could be with alcohol, right? Just to do your everyday living life, you need these substances to get you through. And if you can try your hardest, because I've made mistakes, I've taken drugs, I've made mistakes in my life, I've drunken alcohol, I've done these things, but I'm going through a period of my life now where the only vice I would say is a vape. That's the only problem that I've got at the moment is my vape, right? And that's nicotine, right? That's my only problem at the moment. But the rest of it I've kind of extinguished and I've got rid of. And it makes me feel a lot more complete. I have a lot more time. You notice you have more money. You notice that you don't have to worry about, I'm running out of some weed, or I'm running out of some alcohol, or I need to go to the shop to get more. And you don't have to, and you don't think about, you have to do it. And it's a battle, it is a battle. It's a real battle of the flesh, man. It's a battle of the spirit, soul, mind, flesh, everything. Real battle. When you give up these stuff, like when I gave up weed, I was having nightmares, like, about me smoking weed, like nightmares, like crazy. And the thing is, I gave up weed 5 years ago, right? But then I used to smoke. I don't know if some of you are aware of hemp. It's called CBD. It comes in an oil. It's non-intoxicating, but it comes in an oil. And I used to just get it used to be the flower, so the buds of it. But even that was too much for me. So I managed to give that up quite fairly recently. So it's been a long time coming. But as I said, no one's perfect. Whenever your time's ready, but I'm saying you'll notice you have more time in your day. You have more energy. Everything. So just don't be the moral of the story, the moral of the message, right? The moral of the message is, let's just try not to be slaves to our desires, because desires come in all shapes and forms, right? Let's just try and not be slaves to our desires, and let's try and go through a journey. And I'm not saying you need to do it forever, but especially sexually, right? If we can stay by ourselves and not have to rush in with someone else just to sexually satisfy us, right? And the same goes, I'll mention, the same goes if people is watching pornography or self-stimulation and things like that. You shouldn't be doing none of them things. Just try and get rid of them desires, and don't be a slave to your desires. It's very important to not be a slave to your desires, because these things is not us. We're actually gratifying demonic entities of another kind. That's why we do these things. We might think we like smoking. We might think we like this. We might think we like that. But you've got to think back to the first time that you smoked a cigarette. You used to feel sick. And it's because you let the blackness in. Once you let the darkness in, right, it's like poison. Once you let the poison in, this is what it's like. So just try. I've been a bit jumbled in this message, but I hope that you understand the gist of what I'm trying to say. Let's just try not to be slaves to our desires of whatever kind. We've each got different desires that we need to work on. Let's try our best and utmost, because you will notice an improvement, a drastic improvement in your life. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find the link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. Currently, I have the main channel, the Narcissism channel. If you want to check that out, the link for that channel is also in the description box. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.